If you're facing problems in your business right now, then you have to understand that it is your fault. You are the reason that you're struggling right now. You're struggling right now because of the decisions your past self made. And those decisions led you to where you are. Now, you might be thinking that you made good decisions, but the thing is that most of your decisions were made subconsciously, and your subconscious led you to a place where you're struggling because your subconscious is actually working against you. Now, how we master the subconscious is by understanding how the subconscious makes decisions. As humans, we make decisions in order to one, avoid pain, and two, seek pleasure. That's not an emotional thing, that's not a woo-woo thing, it's real and it's biological. That's how humans have been wired from the beginning of time, and that's how we still are now because we haven't changed that much since caveman times. Our nervous systems are still the same, and our brain still works in the same way. Evolution hasn't really changed that much when it comes to our mind. So in order to set your future self up so that your decisions from now are good decisions and they lead you to where you actually want to be, we need to fix your paradigm. Your paradigm is basically how you see the world, because how you see the world is what dictates the decisions you make. At the core of you and your identity are your beliefs, because your beliefs create your paradigm, and your paradigm creates your decisions and the way you see the world and the way you act. So in this video, we're going to break down your beliefs about the thing that you're actually struggling with, whether that's making money or whatever it may be. So think, the first question is, what pleasures do you associate with making money? Really think about that. Write that down right now in your notes app or something, and actually write down the pleasures you associate with making money. Because if you're struggling right now and you're not doing this, then you might just be fucking insane, because this will actually shed some light on why you're facing the problems you're currently facing. This is what fixed so many problems in my business, and this is what is going to fix the problem that you're facing right now, because your beliefs are the reason why this problem exists in the first place. And in this exercise, we're going to flesh out the beliefs that created this problem. So write down, what pleasures do you associate with having this one thing, whether that be making money. So in this video, we'll use making money as an example. What pleasures do you associate with making money? Write that down in your notes or wherever. Now, the second question is, what pain do you associate with making money? Whether that be stress, pressure, too much responsibility, a lack of freedom. What pain do you associate with making money? The third question is, what pleasure do you associate with not making money? For me personally, I realized that one of my beliefs was that I'd be more comfortable if I didn't make money. I wouldn't have to manage clients, and I wouldn't have to have so much responsibility on my back, because I don't like being stressed. So what pleasure do you associate with not making money? And the fourth question is, what pain do you associate with not making money? Now that you have those three answered, hopefully you're seeing yourself in a different light, and you're actually understanding why you might be working against your goals, and why you might not be taking the actions that you need to take, and why you might be self-sabotaging in certain areas of your life. And the fourth question is, what pain do you associate with not making money? Now, this is the important one, because this is what's going to flip everything else on its head. What pain do you associate with not making money? For me personally, it's regret. I think regret is the worst feeling in the world, so that's what makes me act. There's no way in hell I ever want to feel regret. So if I ever think that I'm going to feel regret by not doing something, then I'm going to do that fucking action. Because I've felt regret in the past and I've hated it. It's the worst feeling in the world. So what pain do you associate with not doing the thing or achieving the thing that you want to achieve? So now that you have those beliefs written down, go back through them and then write down the opposite of those beliefs. So for example, you might have wrote, one of the pains associated with making money is that you're going to have to be stressed that you'd achieve your goals. So I personally went through this with one of my first mentors. I was with him in a restaurant, and we were basically sitting by the sushi bar, and he asked me that very question, what pain do you associate with making money? And I told him, I've always known that I'm gonna make it in this agency space, but in the back of my mind, I've always believed, like at the time I actually believed this, so at the time I told him, I know I'm gonna make it, but I know I'm gonna hate my life, because I'm gonna have so many clients, I'm gonna have so much stress. I know I'm gonna hate my life, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And he broke that belief, because he was at 50k per month, 50k pounds per month. And he was sitting at a restaurant with me, just eating for 3 hours straight. We were just chilling on a random Monday. He had automated his business. He broke that belief for me completely. I don't know how many clients he was working with. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he had a bunch of clients. He had one VA managing everything. And seeing that in person, this guy was sitting opposite me. Seeing that broke that belief completely. So write down the opposites of the beliefs you currently have that are holding you back. See, if you wrote down the pain associated with making money would be stress and pressure, write down the opposite. That making money will not lead to stress and pressure. You can make money and still be free because you've experienced it. I scaled my agency whilst traveling Thailand. You can do that. I am living proof of it. My mentor was even bigger living proof of it. The guy was at 50k per month and he was just living life. The beliefs you have are not true. You need to break them. Now the other question was, what pleasure do you associate with not making money? You might have written down that you'd be comfortable, you'd be avoiding responsibility. But say if you don't make money, wouldn't that just mean that you'd have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life? You'd have to work some shitty job that you don't want to work. Now what are the second order consequences of that? You don't get to spend time with your kids. You have to wake up at 7 a.m. every single day, commute for fucking 1 hour to go into your office job. You have to work for a boss. If you don't make money, then your wife will have to work a job, because London rent or New York rent or wherever you're living, the rent, one normal person can't pay those bills. Your wife will have to work a job. Her boss may well be a man. If you don't make money, your wife will have to look up to another man and do what another man sees. That is the second order consequence of you not making money. Now, why do you believe that there is any pleasure associated with not making money? Are you fucking insane? This is how you have to think about the beliefs you just wrote down. Write down the opposite and then write down the second, the third order of consequences of those fucking actions. So for example, you might not make money, you might not have a business at all, and you'd be comfortable for a while. So right now you might be 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You don't have a wife and kids right now. You're comfortable working your 9 to 5. But when you do have a wife and kids and you can't pay the rent, what then? Are you still comfortable? Break those beliefs because they are not true and they are not serving you, so you have to break them. Now the opposites you just wrote down, they are the fundamentals of the identity that you need to adapt. How you adapt that identity is by reminding yourself of the new beliefs, the opposites of the current beliefs. Remind yourself of them every single day. Remind yourself of the second order consequences of those beliefs. If you're comfortable with not making money, one day your wife will have to call another man boss. Another man will ask your wife to make him a coffee or a tea, and he's gonna slap her ass on he's gonna slap her ass on the way, and your wife is gonna have to deal with it. She's not gonna tell you because you're gonna wild out. She's gonna lose her job. And now what? You can't pay the rent. You're on the streets. You have a fucking kid. You lose custody of your kid. That's the 10th order consequence of you not wanting to make money. So you have to break these fucking beliefs and understand what comes as a consequence of having these silly fucking beliefs. So the opposites create the fundamentals of the new identity you need. Now, how you actually cook those beliefs into your subconscious mind is by attaching emotion to them. So what I personally like to do is write down my goals. So for example, I want £100,000 a month. As a result of £100,000 a month, I'd probably have a warehouse somewhere. I'd be living in a warehouse because I really love the fucking warehouse aesthetic. I love Batman, bro. I want to be Batman. That makes me emotional. It makes me so excited. It makes me get up at 3 a.m. thinking about, holy shit, imagine when I have my fucking warehouse. That emotion is what cooks your beliefs into your subconscious mind, because you need to attach emotion to your beliefs in order to really believe them, if that makes sense. I hope you actually did that exercise, and I hope you've broken some beliefs. I hope you understand that your beliefs have consequences, and sometimes those consequences aren't worth not doing the work. If you need some help with this, or if you need some advice, if you have some questions, then just drop them in the comments and I'll personally help you. Other than that, I'll see you next week.